Yeah.
So we're going to clear everything that has impressions so we can start fresh. 4,000 records on user history and 9,000 something ODLs. So now we're fresh, right? If we try to see if there's anything has impressions, nothing should come up. Anything has impressions, click, nothing comes up. We go here, I'm gonna hit local. All right, so the universe works in mysterious ways and through Tinder in view. This one, right?
Yeah.
Let's check.
That's so cool.
So one of the other one showed up too. Let's see. There should be just one record. Let me see. Oh, both. Oh, both came out. Yeah. Okay.
Both are kind
Watch
of
here.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So watch here. Watch right here. Okay. You see, Michael Libin, Hollywood,
Yeah.
North is in view. In
How
view.
how did you get that to happen based on the scroll?
You'll see.
Okay.
So you see.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, now they should be all at 111. We see 111, all of them, right?
Yeah.
This is so it's for you to understand. This is the Odea itself, and this is me. They should match. This is me. This is my record. You see, user Odea history. This is me. So let's just focus on this one because they are the same, right? At this point, because it's only me who's hitting Odea, right? So 111. Watch. I go back. I go back. I go back. Let's hit it again. You see? Now they reach 22221. I go
The
down.
the role of ego, where is that coming from? Did we did we
Here.
did we see that
It was here. It's in here.
oh, it's inside. No, but
It's in
where's the
one of them.
idea, the role of ego? I feel like we didn't see that one at all.
No, the role of ego, it was a leftover from the other
Oh, okay,
scroll
okay,
that I
okay.
did.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
this is phenomenal. So it keeps
look,
doing it as we scroll. Yeah, yeah.
look what happens here, okay? Look, look. Now we're gonna hit it. You're gonna see one of them has a huge number. You see? Michael
Yeah.
Liebling, 11. And then
Wow.
Disney Plus 9, and then the others 1. Let's scroll. Let's do this one. Iron Cobble, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's take it out of view and let's bring it back in view. Let's take it out of view. Let's bring it back in view. So Iron Cobble was at 2. Now it's at 4.
Yep.
No, it's at 5.
That five. Yep.
You see?
Yep.
So yeah, this is the code basically. It's so simple. Look. So I created a wrapper around the Odia card, this one. A wrapper around this card, yes?
Yeah.
And then the reason I did this because the dimensions matter. If we are greater than 768, I'm just going to show a regular Odia card. If I'm below 768, I'm going to show the viewport that does all that crazy stuff, which is this one. It pulls the block, and then the block has this one, and then it has the events,
And
right? And
how
these
did
are
you
the
figure out
events.
viewport? Did you make up viewport block or did you look it up on the internet? Like what's viewport block? Like
Well, I'm using this library right here, this one,
oh,
right?
right.
Handle viewports. So I'm using that library that does this trick right here,
Yeah.
and I created everything else. So
So cool.
now that's how I dispatch the payload and I tell it. So the beautiful thing that I've done is I used exactly the same API that calculates the listens, the duration and everything. But this time I'm telling it not to do the listens or to do the duration or anything. It's doing just impressions. That's it. If you look for it somewhere else, let me show you. Let me do with the parentheses. You see here, this is in the durations and stuff like that. So it does something else. It does listens. Is duration equal delay? That means this is a listen, right? One listen. Duration is equal delay. Timestamp is where are we in the current time? But then here, it doesn't do that. It does only the impression for that ODA. So ID, impression, here,
Right.
ID, and listens. So I utilized the same stats because it made sense for me, right? Because you know how crazy I am about things making sense, right? Because I
Yeah.
don't want to like, so stats, that's what seemed to be the, how do you say, uh, the right place for it, because impression is a stat, duration is a stat, listen is a stat. So they all fall into the same place.
Right.
Then they all beautifully tie up right here for a user. So now for a user, do you see for
Ah,
me? So for me, now look, the impression was 13, but I only listened to it once. Ha. So then that's where we're gonna cook this logic and say, okay, if I if let's say for example here it's 0, right? And then I saw it 13 times, then okay, maybe we don't need to show this anymore. So I'm gonna filter the the feed based on this user or their history. If I see that something has 0, but the impressions is like 50 or something, we're gonna need to come up with a threshold.
right.
Then skip this ODA. It shouldn't even be there. And that is the simplest possible query I can put. I'm just gonna add it in inner join. No, not an inner join. A left join with this user ODA history, and I tell it if listens equals 0 and impressions is greater than threshold, kill that ODA. It shouldn't show up. The other thing I wanted to show you, this is what I wanted to discuss with you. The threshold right now, I put it at 0.95. That means an ODA, its body, if it's its entire body, has to be 95% in the view. Are you okay with this, or you want me to lower this to 75% or 50%? Because this seemed like a logical thing to me. It's not completely 100% in the view, but most of it is in your face. That's 0.95.
Yeah, I think that I think it's good because if we made it 50%, we would rack up so many more impressions. And if the threshold is lower, then we have less
Exactly.
ideas to show them. Yeah, I think 95% makes sense. Yeah.
So now here's the thing. Now we're gathering so much more data about the ODA itself. So the ODA itself, we know so much more about it, right? We know how many listens it has, how many durations, like how much it, how long it has been played, impressions and stuff like that. So the logic on this one itself, we can also cook it and say, okay, if we are presenting users with great ODAs, we better show them something that had the number of impressions and the number of listens close to each other. If they're far from each other, that means people are seeing this audio in the view and they're not playing it, right?
That's
Yes.
perfect. That's exactly what I asked for 2 days ago. I don't know how you did this in 2 days. That's literally what I wanted because that's the biggest thing. If right now we have no understanding of what's going in the feed and how users interacting, but now, I mean, if we see an idea is getting clicked on every single time or every third time, we're like, let's push this shit to more people. That'll keep more people on the platform. That's it. I mean, that's retention, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So do you see what you were doing, Amit? What you were doing is you were going into the admin and canceling ODAs if they were good or not, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this process here is going to cancel things for you without even worrying about it. But I would say for the ODAs themselves, we have to keep the threshold pretty big because, you know, imagine 100 people, they're interested in philosophy. And then 10 people, they're interested in crypto. And they didn't want to see anything from philosophy. You should not punish that. Sorry, I said it the opposite way. Crypto, 10 people interested. Philosophy, 100 people interested. That ODA about crypto, those 100 people saw it and they didn't click on it. We should not punish that ODA itself because, so that's why we have to keep a threshold really high. But remember, not only that, but we have the categories that are being played. All of that stuff is being recorded. So we can have this massive logic that is personalized to a person. Because once you sign in, we know who you are. Now we can see which categories are you interested in. So we're not going to punish this ODA because it's probably good for you. It's not good for the people that do philosophy. You know, all of these things, all this logic, we can cook all of that and do it. We're already doing a lot of this already. So we just need to kind of like fine tune till we get, this is basically this is going to be part of the primitive recommendation engine that we have. It's going to be part of it, right?
Right.
Once we have users and we can create all those vectors of recommendations, you listen to this and you listen to this, therefore you're interested in this because the other person was interested in that, right?
Yeah.
Those graphs, that's like the next
It's gonna
level.
be fucking huge at that point.
Yeah, but we cannot do it right now because we don't have that data. We can't.
Yeah. But this is a phenomenal start. I mean, to have this, like, to me, and again, this goes to our thesis. There is no audio, even Spotify is not doing this. There's no audio platform that's tracking the impressions because they don't have content in their system that they're serving in this way. No podcast app can do that because you can't count the impression of all the podcasts in the RSS feeds. It doesn't make any sense. Racket could do that. They could count the impressions, but again, their form is just not really suitable. So
Right.
that's huge, man. Like giving creators,
Yeah.
like right now, creators that on podcast apps, they can barely see how many downloads they get. If we say, hey, your thing, legitimately, we're not lying about this. It showed up in front of someone's face. 100%. They saw the thumbnail and title 10,000 times and they didn't click on it. You have a really shitty title. Like that data is just so valuable.
I know, it's huge.
It's the same thing with YouTube, right? I make a Palantir video. I see 50% of people clicked on it. I'll make another Palantir video. It tells me how to make the content. So for Audia, with the early creators, they made a video on law of attraction. 80 people clicked on it out of 100. Make another one. Make another one. It's like it's huge, man.
And you know, with all these emails that we're going to be sending people, like the creators, we're going to tell them, hey, look at your impressions. And you know, we can draft them back to the platform and say, look, you can even present recommendations right there. You know, it's like, okay, what is it that people didn't like about it? You know, we can have these data engineers also sample this data and figure out why people are not clicking on them. You see what I'm saying? So they can get these impressions, high impressions, low listens. I can grab a query, I can give them the IDs, and they can look at these audios, right? And they can see, okay, why are these audios not being listened to, right? So we can visually say, okay, is the title, is it stupid? Does it have episode 103, right? Is the picture faded? Is the audio way too long? Or maybe is it way too short or something like this? So they're going to be able to cook all this data, right? The good thing is, Amit, we're doing it right now, right from the start. It's not like we're going to have massive number of people and then we're going to be doing this and missing out on so much data prior to doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the good thing. One thing I want to tell you also, so the way I'm doing things, Amit, is that right now the API is taking care of this stuff, right? But this stats, at some point, I'm gonna create their own server.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's a strain on the server, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. And you know what? When we enable these stats for desktop, can you imagine when you scroll, there's gonna be 10 stats fired at once, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to segregate this server, put it by itself so it doesn't strain the other server. And I did that for media. Like, you know, when you upload an Odea, when you upload the picture, right now we don't need it. But guess what? The API for pictures, it's not api.odea.io, it's media.api.io. That means, but right now they're pointing exactly to the same server. At some point, when it becomes too much, I'll create another server, and then the DNS itself, I'm going to tell it, don't go to the same server, go to the other server, right? That way, the code doesn't even change, not even a bit. It's only on the server we do these things. So this API also, I'm going to make it stats.api.io, right? Then when it goes to do its thing, on the DNS, create a server on the DNS, there will be zero interruption. It will be just live. And it will just like offload the weight on the how do you call it? The servers, right? It's all architecture. You know, when you do things like architecturally sound from the start, you don't suffer later. You know, that's why all these founders, you know, they come to me and they say, oh, we created a database with MongoDB. Can you help us? Can you help us make it a relational database? And I'm like, oh my God, you know what, you're facing a huge problem,
Right.
because you know what, they have these engineers come and they're doing stupid shit that, like, oh, it's like a can
Doesn't make any sense either. Yeah.
yeah, like a kid seeing a candy, he's like, oh, MongoDB, oh, let's do MongoDB, oh, let's go do Firebase, database. They don't know the implications of that choice, right? Yeah.
That's
Anyhow,
huge, man.
so
That's
you're
huge.
gonna go sleep. You're gonna go sleep happy
I sleep
today.
like a baby tonight. No,
Yeah.
it used to keep me up at night because I'm like, we're building, we're good, we're raising money, but like, fuck, when we get users, we don't know how to like show them any, like, it kept me up at night. So that was a big thing for me to like really start at least building something where we could meaningfully. I mean, this data is just rock solid. This is the type of data that makes billion-dollar companies. Like when you can tell people how their content's performing, it's a different level. It's a different level.
Right.
No audio creator on the planet knows when their audio content shows up on Spotify, Apple, and knows how many people clicked on it. No creator. At best, they get the number of listens, and they can't even get the duration of those listens because you're dealing with downloads and you're dealing with RSS feeds, so you can't track every single app. If it's on one place, again, this is YouTube. YouTube gives me so much data that I can figure out what to do next. We're gonna do that for audio creators, and when we do that, every single one of them in the fucking world is gonna be like, why am I not posting on this?
You know what the good thing here, I mean, is that we are kind of pegging ourselves with YouTube, but at some point we're gonna skin the audio differently, right?
Yes.
Right now we're kind of like pegged to YouTube.
Yes.
The good thing is that we are following the footsteps of YouTube, which is like the stats and all of these things, right? But then only thing we have to do, come up with a more beautiful
Design, all this stuff. Yeah, that's it.
completely different, and that's it. But the thing is, we pegged ourselves to YouTube, which is a really good thing. I mean, honestly, YouTube
it's better than TikTok. I mean, there's this app right now called Be Real.
Yeah.
And the point is, it looks very much like Instagram almost, right? They have a discover page, for you page, exactly like Instagram. They're number 3 in the App Store. They're like getting millions of downloads a day. It's a photo. They give you one notification a day where they send a notification to your phone. You have 2 minutes. You have to take a photo of yourself and with your front camera and the back camera, no filters, no editing, and then it immediately posts it into a feed. It's called Be Real. So the goal is they're trying to be like the authentic version of Instagram, and you're only allowed to post once a day, something like that. I mean, it's a silly little concept. They send you notification every day. Everyone, as soon as you get the notification, you have to take the picture. You only have 2 minutes. So they do the urgency, the FOMO. They really get you hooked onto it. But the user interface, it looks just like TikTok. That's it. Look at this.
Wow.
There's nothing different. But like when you get the users and you find some magic moment, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Eventually they'll change their design too, but they're number 4 on the entire App Store. It's insane. They're right below Twitter. They're above TikTok right now. TikTok's number 6. So yeah, I agree with you. We're copying YouTube in terms of the stats and all the advanced analytics, and then we're going to be able to differentiate in the future. But if we can get the people to come and we give them a reason to stay, it's huge. Absolutely huge.
They'll come,
They will come.
CTO cares. They don't know me. I'm the engine room guy. I'm entering the boat. But the fact that we care both tremendously, then that's all that matters, right?
It's big. I closed another 5K today. So that's looking like we're at 190 now. And I'm trying to close about 3 more deals at 10K over the next week. So next week, the goal is like, can we officially cross 200? That is the goal next week. So we'll keep going from there, but no, this is great. Oh, and I had a couple of emails that went to spam that were asking about my startup from like a week ago. And I just checked spam and I was like, fuck, I need to respond to this. So I responded to one of the guys. He responded back immediately. And I have a meeting with him tomorrow. So I was able to check those. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, this is amazing. I can't say anything more. This is absolutely phenomenal. The fact that you can get this, and it's perfect. It's like literally does what we wanted to do. That's it. It does what we wanted to do.
And it's all configurable and everything.
It's amazing.
Good, Amit. So yeah, I'll get on the other tasks, before I leave.
Yeah, I mean, this is the big thing. I'm happy for us to launch now with, this is like, the other tasks are awesome, but this is the big thing. The fact that we got this done, the fact that we got it done.
Cool.
All right. Awesome stuff. I'm going to hit the bed.
Okay.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.